Does sound fun. You're also not wrecked by Poppy playing Malzahar because he has no mobility.
Yeah,
I like that. Is it just a Corki ban? I actually think Corki probably has to ban here.
Yeah,
and there it is.
It just has to be. Like, you trade the Lucian for that, that's fine. But Chovy's like, well, next to Faker, I think I have the biggest list of things that I play well. I just played the first debut Draven. Let's see what his plan is going to be. They can save counter pick for him as well and just grab Gnar for Keen and be like, we win that lane, then we win the top lane. Or you can grab the Kennen instead, which also feels pretty safe, blindable.
Yep, I like Kenny. Because, of course, the Poppy is a flex, and it's even more of a flex on Kwangdong because Dudu has played it more than most other top laners, I'm pretty sure, here in the LCK. So, an understandable one. That's Sion. I hope Leaper is just hovering that, just hearkening back to the
wait, hold on. Sion, Senna with Ezreal mid?
And Leona somewhere.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's just going to be Gnar. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. They're expecting the Gnar. The Kennen feels safe into this. So you already have the preset blind, strong range top champion here for Keen, and then whatever this pick is going to be, Chovy will have an answer to. Is he just going to lock Hui? Is it going to be a scaling mid pick? I mean, that's the thing. You know, we were talking about how do you play to Kwangdong style. Their style normally was a strong
Aurelion
duo,
Soul,
and then a scaling pick like Aurelion Soul.
Ziggs, that fits.
But it's blind, so that's a little bit concerning.
Countering Ziggs isn't easy, I guess.
True. Let's see what Chovy's answer is going to be, because this will be really the first time Ziggs has been blinded here in a very long time in the LCK.
They have a bit of experience. I'm pretty sure that they beat D+ when Showmaker played the Ziggs in Game 3.
Yeah, I think that was Azir. Aha.
Right. Yeah, just pick an 80 carry, I guess. Fair enough, Chovy. Fair enough. He's like, oh, that's a long-range mage? Well, I can do long-range 80 or short-range 80 carry if he's just going to play Zeri.
It's going to be Zeri. Yeah, I don't think you want to play Jhin mid. Fairly vulnerable, even though it is the short lane. Still can be having some problems there, and can also just be, because you don't really have the opportunity to trade with Ziggs, just eventually chunked out. The Zeri will be able to actually, use her attack speed and try to potentially all-in the Ziggs. There's some stuff the Zeri could do there. To be our second mid-Zeri, it was Bulldog, I believe, actually the first to play it mid ever in the LCK, and now Chovy is going to play it against him.
I wanted the Jhin. That was going to be more fun. Well, I didn't want the Jhin. I wanted the Jhin to be played mid instead of bot lane.
You were talking about the beverage, I understand now.
Yes. To be perfectly honest, I take it. I take it over watching what happened to Kwangdong Freaks again. It was pretty painful in game number 1. Let's hope that they can utilize this draft to get themselves to at least a playable position in this game. That's what we want to see.
I do think that there's a lot of good things about this composition for Kwangdong Freaks. It's a real comp. It's got a lot of poke. It's got a lot of power around objectives with the Poppy. Genji is the far stronger team, so it's hard to analyze, but I did like the safe Gnar into swapping Chovy into the Zeri mid. A clean draft here for Genji as well, but less classic.
Yeah, and also less range. They shouldn't be able to necessarily play in the neutral all that well, but it's Genji, so who knows? Let's jump into the Rift. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the Rift for game number 2. As Chovy going to be trying his hand at the Zeri mid. Bulldog playing the right skin. Pretty sure Orcs has an account where he only plays Pool Party Ziggs. I'm pretty sure. So I think Orcs would be pretty happy. It's not his birthday anymore. That was yesterday, so it's a really long time before his birthday.
It's very appropriate to play this skin in summer, though.
Yeah, very true.
If you do it in LCK spring, it doesn't feel as...
Yeah.
It's still a good skin, but it doesn't feel as poignant.
Imagine if you were playing it in winter when we used to have a winter season.
Yeah.
Absolutely illegal.
The pool's got the cover on it, and Ziggs is just having a sad time.
Yep.
Though his water balloons turn into ice balloons,
That would hurt more.
Yeah.
Less explodey.
Less splash damage.
Yeah. But it would do more single target, you could imagine. All right, Chovy now going to do the same thing where he just walks up this little pathway after warding and just fights the enemy mid laner from behind the wave.
Yeah, I mean, Bulldog has an empowered auto, so that's what he's got. Chovy's otherwise going to win this one. Oh.
He's going to find the empowered auto attack because these minions are getting frustrating. Chovy using the barrier very early.
Yeah, this looks like a pick that Chovy is not that experienced on, just based on that. But it's his 61st unique pick, so we'll let it slide.
Yeah, I think we can let it slide. We're giving him a little bit of a golf clap here as he loses the trade somewhat. Has eaten his potion though, so he should be fine. And still has control of the wave. We'll continue pushing things in. It is a fun champion to farm on, and of course we know that Chovy just really likes farming, so...
He does like to farm a lot, and, you know, after you get through these first levels, it's going to be a little bit more annoying to deal with, and he does have that all-in level 6.
Oh, somehow that bouncing bomb missed? That's rude.
Chovy, because he went barrier, does not have teleport, by the way, and nearly has his backs. Okay, backstop the second time. And Bulldog is feeling pretty good about this. And when we saw the Zeri, I was like, okay, well, this should be fine once you hit 6, but I didn't think it was going to be as much of a struggle for Chovy this early on into the Ziggs matchup. But that empowered auto does hurt pretty hard, utilizing the minions very well to block some of Zeri's Q damage was pretty clean.
He does indeed have a short fuse as Pei's trying to walk this one off. You can see Lehen's bouncing around the lane, will absorb most of the damage from Leaper.
It is a little bit sad that we didn't get the exact same lane rematch with Pei's on the Ezreal to see how that one would go. Because now you have all the caveats of what Jhin does, his damage, and you know, his range, and how he operates as an AD carry. So we don't get to talk about, like, could Rakan Zeri actually beat this Leona lane? As Bulldog still has his teleport, still hasn't backed, so Chovy has the health advantage for now and was only able to pick up a ward and a refillable. So Bulldog is still feeling very comfortable.
Yep.
Well, Bulldog is a player who plays a lot of eclectic mid picks. I am, you know, not surprised to see him play the Ziggs here once more.
He certainly fits the Quantum Freaks vibe, you know, where they do like to do things a little bit differently. As Deadly Flourish going to connect, and Pei's going to have to cleanse pretty early on in this one. There it is.
All right, 2 summoners down. The heal expended as well by Lehen's.
Yeah, nicely done. Quantum actually holding on to his Ignite as well. Now looking for a rotation over. Canyon going to discover him as Lehen's comes in, finds the grand entrance. Permafrost, and that's first blood. Oh, man. All of that good work.
Yeah, it's all just washed away now, and it's Canyon. And he had a lot of vision in the river, and Chovy is starting to get back control of this lane. Bulldog still hasn't backed yet.
Oh, man, they should have given him the Zyra. Then he would have been busy farming.
Aww.
Oh, disaster.
He was very aggressively ganking instead. And unfortunately, Cuz was nowhere to be seen on the play. Is, speaking of farming, doing just that here, but hasn't been really involved. Took his first back as well. And we're getting closer to level 6 for Chovy. He does not have a lot of mana, but has his barrier back, so we'll see Bulldog back, see if Chovy wants to match that and buy a real item, not just a you know, a bunch of soup or whatever's in that refillable.
Yeah, not quite the best first buy, as we did see. This minion wave sort of just balanced in the mid lane right now, as Kuz going to move on over and try to just dissuade Chovy from going home. So the back timings have been kind of messed up for this Zeri so far. It is going to put Chovy in a rough spot. Let's have a look at this one once again. Pretty good position for Canyon.
Quantum just wants to clear that ward because he's scared of what would happen if Canyon was here. He was here where the ward was, so unfortunately that is his demise. Cuz was relatively nearby, but obviously isn't able to help out on the play. Keen is having a good time up here. 15 CS up, and now that the teleport's been burned, let's see what happens when he doesn't have teleport and he has to come back to lane.
Yeah, let's see whether Cuz is going to be able to get here in time as well to save this guy, as I don't think it's going to happen. Permafrost comes down. He is hopping around, but Slicing Maelstrom comes in. Cuz is going to look to try and get rid of Keen, and Mega Inferno Bomb's going to be able to lock it down. Who's the better Yordle? Right now, it is Bulldog. He is going to miss a whole bunch of his buttons, but that's fine. Quantum's moving over. Looking to try and help Chovy out. Bouncing Bomb going to be coming on through, but the Honey Fruit should be eaten here as Chovy just going to dash his way out. Nice little extendo beam. Not actually going to be able to land it just yet, as Lehen's was in. So nicely done here by the Quandong Freaks.
Yeah, and you know, with Chovy not having level 6 just yet, he can't really punish Bulldog there on the play. If he has his ult, maybe he can all in after Bulldog tosses his top lane, but they are able to save the play top side there. Dudu does have to flash, doesn't have his teleport. and is now running out of Mega Gnar. Oh, it was so good until it...
Lehens is pretty close to like being dead, but it's okay. The stun comes through, and now you've got grubs that are attempting to be taken. First one is going to go over to Cuz, so he does at least secure that, but now Canyon gets in there. Should be able to grab the second two.
FaZe still doesn't have cleanse, but they're just not confident enough that they have the damage here, even with Leaper having his ult to actually commit to a play to punish him, while they know Lehens is topside. Now back, of course, but was for the moment topside. And so even though it's a really nice bomb there for Bulldog and he picks up first blood, they still end up killing the Gnar that was trying to clear the wave out so he can get that back. He is punished for it. And, you know, you look back at this play again, Dudu does not have Mega Gnar, does not have 6, but is able to flash the knock up here. And the Slicing Maelstrom actually stuns him on the edge here during his hop, but Cuz shows up and ends up healing extremely well. And then the Ziggs bomb is there to punish. Really good set of plays here for Kwangdong, but he wants to shove this in so he can get it back and not lose anything because he doesn't have his TP. And unfortunately, Lehens stuck around. Keen is still going to be able to set up CC even without his ultimate, so bit of a rough one.
True Shot Barrage not quite going to find Pays there, who is able to get himself back home. He's ahead by just a little bit of farm, and pretty impressive that he is so as well, given the fact that he has been playing in a 1v2 for quite some time. Lehens just doing that Lehens thing where he just leaves his AD carry by themselves.
Man, this is really going to do some denting to Chovy's gold difference at 14 stats. His CS stats. This is the worst thing I've seen from him in a while.
Yeah, Keen in a lot of trouble. I've seen this one before as well as Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, avoids the drill, but now Mini Gnar comes through. Oh, Dudu, good sidestep, but that means that Keen will live. Canyon putting out a fire in the top lane.
Yeah, at the same time though, this does mean that this is going to help stabilize Dudu, as Keen does not have teleport, and the Gnar is going to be able to push this wave through. No way to follow up and punish him this time, as Lehens is back in the bottom lane, so Cannon can, you know, get back to the lane fairly quickly. But let's see what happens with Lehens setting up a dive now onto Leaper.
Yep, 2 versus 1. Grand Entrance is going to get the Arcane Shift out, as Lehens will just carry a turret shot towards Pays. Gets the Demolish there as well, as Quantum does make his way back. And now the ulti from Chovy is going for it, looking for the fight here. Gets the slowdown with the Extendo Beam, is now Bulldog going to be able to at least force Chovy to take a turret shot. It's looking a little bit dangerous, but both of them looking a little worse for wear. Should be fine on either side.
Yeah, that finally the all-in comes through, but Chovy does not quite have enough, as Cuz wants to stop the spec. Not quite able to get into buckler range, but he does get the back off, which is pretty important for him, as
Yep, Zenith Blade coming down here as Cuz moving in. Uses the Steadfast Presence to speed himself up, and that means that he won't have that one to stop Lehens from being able to battle dance around, but just a little bit too far from the play anyway. He's going to keep his bottom lane safe. Quantum Freaks. This is much more of a game of League of Legends though, Wolf. This is only 1,000 gold to lead.
Yeah, no, it's
for Gen G.
It's definitely a pretty big lead in the mid lane, with the kill going over to the Ziggs. CS advantage. Pays.
Yep, Captain Cordians comes down as in goes Lehens, and this is not a 1v1 anymore. There's the curtain call as Leaper, he's just going to seal his own fate by pressing the R button.
Yeah, there's a bit of an animation on that one, as everyone knows. And, that does allow FaZe to guarantee the shot there, and this is going to be likely Dragon.
Well, there is also a kill on a Poppy angle, and that is going to come on through. So, as I was saying, this one's over.
Yeah, no, actually, never mind. Yeah, no, it's, we were so close to an interesting game, and then
we really were.
Man.
It's all right. Bulldog still has a lead. And
true. That's one place where it's not completely on fire.
Yeah.
Everything else is, no two other lanes are not completely on fire.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, touching distance in the CS for Leaper as well versus FaZe.
Yeah, it's CS advantage, cuz.
True. There you go.
Yeah. So let's watch this again, because, you know, it's really greedy here. Leaper isn't aware that he's on a ward. Goes in with the Arcane Shift, and
Quantum went back.
Quantum also just is like, you're dead, man. It's Genji, sorry. And I mean, True Shots, and then he's completely dead, because that first one slows him, and the second one is easy to follow up on.
Yep. Dudu is also just dead as well. That's a solo kill for Keen.
Yeah, I think we have to ban replays for the rest of the series.
Yeah, the context on that one is strange, because I feel like Dudu was in an okay spot.
Well, I don't even mean just because, like, it's like we missed the action. It's just too painful. And
yeah.
And also in this case, we missed the setup, but it's also just like people are dying all the time. Speaking of.
So Lehens is a champion that isn't very happy about being into a Poppy, but Grand Entrance is going to come on through. Keen is very, very strong as Quantum misses the Solar Flare entirely. Good sidestep from Keen, though. But that was only ever going to slow.
Okay, so no one actually died there on Gen G, but it looked a little bit dicey. The Poppy into Rakan situation was feeling pretty positive, but really nice knock up there for Lehens, and he wasn't really alone.
But also, there was...
the Solar Flare wasn't great, yeah.
Yeah, it's the grubs. They could have just, instead of chasing after some kills, just killed the rest of the grubs. Might have been a good way of doing it.
I mean, Keen also didn't have ult for the play on to Dudu moments before, so yeah, I mean, there was an angle. Speaking of angles.
Well, there's a curtain call. Let's see whether Leaper can actually avoid all of this, and the answer is no, and I don't think anyone could have. That was just too many things that looked like they hurt flying towards the young Ezreal underneath the turret.
Do you guys... Okay, hold on. Bulldog may also be...
Assault does not actually connect there, as Quickness is going to help out. Bulldog going to be flashing here as Chovy turns up. Mega Inferno Bomb might be able to line something up here, but not enough damage. The Ignite now ticking, but not actually going to result in anything at all. So that is just Bulldog being taken out as well. And now everyone has died at least once on the side of Quandong Freaks. Gen G just making the rounds, making sure all these lanes are fine.
Yeah, the wave is just frozen against him. He can't do anything. He's not allowed to play the game. And he tried to, and then Keen was like, well, you know the reason why I froze this was so you couldn't play the game, and you tried to get it, and so I'm going to put you in the death chamber where you'll also not be playing. Over here, just a really nice play, and then Bulldog really trying to get some value out of the Ziggs, hoping that with the skirmish bottom side, maybe he has enough of a leash to actually go for this. He doesn't. Chovy also comes up. Good flash from Bulldog, but he still ends up getting all into here. Has the barrier as well to absorb a lot of this damage. And that is that. Cuz and Quantum are both very tanky, and Chovy can't tank the turret anymore, so does have to leave. But what I was going to say before that last fight, and hopefully we'll have a breath here before Gen G strike again, was, do you remember the first episode of Pog State this season?
Yeah.
Where I said, what if Gen G just trivializes the LCK? And you guys kind of scoffed at me, but I did warn everyone that this could happen. I did tell everyone that if they just become so good because they haven't even reached their peak form yet, I still believe that, that the rest of the LCK might just be fighting for second, which was the other series we had today. It was very interesting.
It was.
It feels like we're living that world a little bit. We're not fully there, but we're kind of there.
There's also sort of, it's pretty stark when it's between these two teams. So I'll hold that thought. That is going to be Lehens getting punished, giving Leaper a kill here as well. That's actually a big deal as Cuz throws his buckler around. Projectiles being traded. Ignore the fact that the top lane just exploded. Keen is gigantic.
That's a first brick on a 2-kill Kennen, who is 40 CS up.
Bulldog does not manage to find the satchel, and so Chovy is just going to kill him and dies himself.
Oh, 200 gold, the advantage for Bulldog on that play.
There you go. No more bounty.
No more bounty. And Paze is going to get this bottom turret, it looks like here, because they have 3 grubs, which is enough to help him burn this one down. A little bit pushing the wave, though, as Leaper is going to show up. Cannon goes down. Yeah, he's still just barely going to get it. And
yep, local gold comes in as well. He might also be able to get himself a kill as W goes wide there from Leaper, but Quantum, I think, should be able to keep himself up. Yep, able to avoid the deadly flourish. That is certainly good. They get themselves out. Quickness comes in. Curtains have been called. That is a dead Leona. Swings the sword around, but otherwise not too much happening there as Leaper going to take that last bullet. Now Canyon's here as well, and his pet Rift Herald, and Keen's down here. What's Keen doing here? As that's going to be a Glacial Prison connecting. There is also going to be an inner turret being taken down.
Chovy also able to get topside here to deny the Gnar push, so they're not going to be able to really cross-map too much. I mean, Bulldog is coming up, though, and Cuz is here, so maybe they get this kill and get a turret. That would be, something. That'd be something back. But
how many yordles does it take to kill Chovy? It looks like 3. 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't need the Tootsie Pop Owl or anything like that for this one. It's going to be quite simple. Now, they don't have a wave, so
I didn't need an abacus at all.
No. I mean, you didn't need to, like, putting your rocks down or counting your fingers for this one. I don't think it was pretty simple.
You didn't see, but...
oh, okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I was just focused on the very intense gameplay.
Yeah.
Over here, this is just Lehens. He's Rakan into this composition, and as it turns out, that is very punishable. Bulldog.
It's okay.
He's like, I'm going to go for the kill mid. And
he died. He's gonna
shows the summoners and ult on cooldown. This is what happens, in the interim over here. It's unfortunately Quantum just a little bit disconnected, and a really nice ult from Lehens. Does have flash, but does not need to use it to connect this charm into knockup. And then Canyon comes down, so Leaper is like, oh, thank God I lived. Well, bad news is he didn't. And he saved his arcane shift, which is smart and good, but Canyon, he's one of the junglers who doesn't really miss the
no, not as many. And people having a lot of fun with Glacial Prisons recently. This was just Chovy dead.
He does clear the wave though. Doesn't save the tower, but delays the take of that bounty top side. Gold's still pretty heavily favoring Genji, but at least they're getting some stuff back. The Ziggs is at 1.5 items. Maybe will eventually be able to set.
I think we've been gaslit by game one, thinking that this isn't a massive lead though, because this is like still.
Well, by comparison,
exactly. Oh man, I know exactly where you're coming from. As quickness comes on in, Lehens throwing abilities around, doing some stuff. Deadly Flourish is going to miss, and Bulldog stuck between the base gates, and there is a good flash to get himself out of the way, and it is a Cloud Soul. Oh, maybe.
You ever just get camped by a Rakan outside of your base?
That's
The Jhin follow-up, though, is so long range. It's so easy as Quantum.
Oh, another Glacial Prison comes in, and that is going to be Quantum getting locked up. He is still Leona, so he does manage to tank for a while. Who didn't manage to tank for a while was Canyon, as Paze takes a little bit of a journey. The longest turret shot of all time is going to hit him, but it's not going to be enough to kill. An inner turret is going to go in the mid lane as well. So it's now 6 turrets to 1 at 18 minutes and 20 seconds into the game.
Yeah, it's not a lot of map left for Kwangdong Freaks, as all of the turrets outside of their base have been removed from the map. This allows you to make very aggressive plays like this one. This was before the turret was gone, but step up this far. Quantum is ulted. He goes in and actually buys a decent amount of time with his Eclipse, but unfortunately, not going to be much they can do after that. Cuz ults the Jhin away to try to delay this, but it still goes down anyways, and that means Keeper's Verdict is on cooldown, so yeah, probably not too relevant, but unfortunately not the greatest usage there, but at least it delayed the take of the turret, and
yeah, something like that. Crypt Bloom has been completed here by Keen alongside his Leandries. It's a very scary cannon.
Yeah, he may, after this Gnar bar is done, try to go for a kill onto Dudu, because he's so big. Now the Gnar has been used, and he's trying to push this turret. Now, this is kind of tricky from Bulldog. He's going to try to satchel his way forward, get here as fast as possible, and try to bait this. But Keen's like, nah.
Also, it's I think it's almost guaranteed money, because I think this turret is down pretty low, as you can see, in the bottom side. So it might just be satchelable.
Yeah, looks like that is exactly what he's going to look for. Wanted to maybe grab Keen as well, but Keen realizes what's happening and is able to get away. So good reaction from Keen. Still some bounty gold going over.
Trading that outer turret in the bottom lane for an inhibit turret in mid would be bad, but they are able to at least keep it alive for the moment.
Trading it for 2/3 of an inhibitor turret is factually advantage Kwangdong for gold.
There you go.
There you go. Especially with the bounty. Whew, big.
Nailed it. And this is all part of the game plan, you know? It's go really, really far behind and then bounty your way back into the game.
Quantum is going forward.
Yeah. True Shot Barrage also going to get a fair bit of value here as Heroic Charge into the wall. That is going to lock down Canyon. Aftershock not quite working, but takes a while to kill him as it's 1-for-1. And the quickness value is revolting from Lehens. It's then just going to be an instant quadra kill for Chovy, who's just not able to get a penta because Paze has to finish it off because Chovy was dead. So that's going to be the ace, and Paze and Keen left alive.
Paze and Keen, the two of them, without Keen having teleport, will not be able to do anything huge. Not going to be able to two-man a Baron. It would be pretty funny if Keen just ulted the Baron and they tried, but we'll be able to push this wave in with a nice ult. That was kind of cheesy from Paze. Like, aha, now the minions will be denied by the turret. Maybe we'll take it out.
Oh, Quantum walking towards.
Yeah,
let's have a look. Yeah,
instead.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Because this is where you see a ton of value from Lehens, right? He's playing into the Leona, he's playing into the Poppy, but as they all advance into the choke point and use their buttons, Lehens has a really insane angle. The Gnar goes down here for Dudu, and then it's just boom. Double quickness onto really key targets here. Bulldog is taken out. Leaper trying his best here to make sure that Chovy cannot penta, and at least he'll be able to get that. So small victories, that's what this whole game is about.
Let's listen to Chovy here.
It's the whole team.
I didn't even really see how it happened. We're going to go back to exactly the same spot. Is Canyon once again going down low? Is this another replay?
No.
Am I in a replay?
Lehens only has a few seconds left for his cooldown, so he's waiting to make it a replay. Hold on, just give it.
Got it. Okay, we'll give it a sec. As Keen is desperate to not make it a replay. He wants to be part of this one. As, oh God, that wasn't even a fourth shot. Yeah, that was, I think, a shuriken.
Well, you know, Lehens got his ult a few 2 seconds late to give us the classic double replay situation, but it's up now, and they're on the Baron, and maybe a bounty gold situation here with Bulldog Satchel on this mid turret.
Yep.
Small victories.
There we go, nailing it. Ignore this.
Big victories over here by the
ignore this.
Victories.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that one. The inhibitor turret was also already taken in the mid lane. I don't remember when that happened, but it did. Pace also just back towards mid. We'll be able to clear that one out. Teleport to come on forward. And Pace not going to be resetting just yet. He already has his 3 items completed.
Can they end off of the Baron push with the lead that they have is the only question.
Why are Quantum Freaks are sort of milling about the dragon?
Yeah, I think they might end here because Slicing Maelstrom is up. Chovy has ult. Lehens has ult.
And now Canyon and Lehens are over here, so they can't back. So they will take the dragon. So there we go. More dragons for Quantum Freaks, nailing that. And Leaper is also here. The rest of Genji are distracted by the fact that they could just walk over and try and kill everyone.
They could. Okay, that was very close. Okay, that was also close. But let's see. Leaper, I think, might just be destined for death.
He might. Canyon going to be here as well, so it's not just Lehens. I think Lehens loses that 1v1. Pace is going to turn up, and that is a very, very dead Leaper.
I haven't looked at the... We're going to watch this again.
Oh, yeah, we need this audio. Let's listen to Chovy.
Specifically Chovy. Watch Chovy. Hold on, let's Okay, so we can do this,
When does he start calling for Penta?
Here we go. Considering what's happened with Hayes and his Pentas so far this season, I'll be pretty annoyed with this one.
It was just, I love the reaction was like Chovy just going, oh, and then everybody else just laughing. Oh, man. You can tell that the morale is relatively high for Genji at the moment, as you can understand.
We can't say the same about Kwangdong, though, I wouldn't say.
No.
This series.
Especially not when you've got Pace approaching a Flame Horizon on Jin.
Yeah.
That's right, Quantum not going to be able to find too much. Pace just walks too fast. Heroic Charge also not connecting as Mega Inferno Bomb not doing enough. Didn't hit the sweet spot as now Canyon able to reposition. Keen! Oh dear, he gets thrown back by the Gnar, but it's into the Poppy. And now it is Pace's turn to attempt a Penta, but it's not going to work out. The pesky Yordle is going to be able to deny it. Now the curtains have been called and none of the bullets are going to connect. But that is fine because Genji are just inside the enemy base.
Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be a second inhibitor at worst case for Genji. Looking like they might be able to get more as Pace gets that big shot on the turret. Chovy still has ult.
As Deadly Flourish Leaper is just executed. Quantum goes in to try and defend, but he was already dead as the Zenith Blade started going out. And now both Nexus turrets are going to be taken out. The Gatekeeper, Lehens here with a very large health bar, is going to just make sure that this Nexus is going to go down cleanly. And Genji, they're really good.
Yes. Well said.
Yeah, thank
very
you.
Strong team.
That was my poignant comment at the end of the game.
No, it was...
I often have those, Wolf.
I mean, we've only had, like, I don't know, what are we up to now? 12 series to showcase it this season.
Yeah.
They are, with this win, going to Worlds. They are, with this win, going to playoffs, which was never in doubt for anyone.
No, not even a little bit.
But now it is 100% guaranteed.
Mathematically confirmed.
I don't even know who to vote for this one. Maybe we just...
Be a Jin voter, like who?
Yeah,
maybe Kane.
Yeah, no, I'll be a Jin voter. That's fine.
Oh, maybe it's Lehens for picking Rakan in that spot and actually still winning and actually having a really good moment in the game.
He did get caught a few times, but I mean, it is what it is. You can't win everywhere all the time on the map.
Canyon also hit ults.
He did,
and that was pretty cool. That hasn't been a theme this week.
I'm just a Jin voter. I think you can do whatever you want in this series, but man, Genji, they showed us some wild drafts. And they played fast and loose, and Chovy did not look great in the first few levels of the Zeri versus Ziggs matchup, but he looked very good after that.
Yep.
And
we're going to have to wait, by the way, for Lehens' 600th. He is very, very close.
Shocker.
599. Yeah, it's crazy. We didn't make it to game number 3. But there we go.
I do think, you know, for Kwangdong, this is a series you just have to ride up at. No.
Best drive.
I think he's probably like, in the LCK, probably like top 50.
Yeah, how many players are there in the LCK?
Just over 50.
He's definitely top that many.
Yeah, I'd say just over 50 players.
Yeah.
I'll give him top 50.
That's trifle. It's fantastic.
For Kwangdong, I think this is a series you just have to write off.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot
don't think about it. This is like, CV Max needs to go full Little League coach and just say, like, guys, it's totally fine. Just, like, let's make sure that we learn from this and all that sort of stuff. Like, that's how it has to be treated. It can't be that, you know, you can't be really yelling at people for mistakes made in this series.
Because you cannot reasonably expect to be the first team to beat Gen.G. It's not going to be you. You're in a slump. You're struggling. And maybe there's a lot you can learn from this. Maybe you can break down a lot of the replays. There's a lot of macro decisions and some really cool clutch plays we saw from Gen.G. Even when they put themselves in a risky spot, they clutched out, like fights like this one with Lehens. These are the moments that you could study and learn from with your own tape and say, oh, wow, look at how they played this. Look at the draft they did. And there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to improve off. It's a wild game, and is it standard drafting by either team? Not really. There are some pieces of that, of course, but you take this as an L you already knew you were going to get.
Yeah.
But if this really puts you down in your momentum further, then I am worried about Kwangdong, but I don't think it should.
I don't know why Chovy pressed dash instead of just Q.
I don't know.
Because I think that was the Penta, but I don't know. We remember what he said as, yeah, we're looking for the Penta again. He's still very upset.
Calling for Ziggs.
They want to be able to kill Ziggs.
Set up the waves. Just getting the Warmogs activated. Wow, man, he just died so fast.
Yeah. They're calling out no flashes and things like that. Just some standard stuff. And Lehens just doing that thing where he stands around, and they were talking about whether they could get some more kills, but realized that the game is over.
That's some Jin damage. I think it's okay to be a Jin voter, you know?
Jin damage bar, like, I mean,
over 1,000
DPM as Jin.
As Jin, yeah. Yeah.
What? Maybe I'm not a Jin hater anymore. Maybe that has cured me of my Jin anti-ness.
Let's, we'll talk about, you and I will have a conversation about that after this. But that first sign that we talked about was like Gen.G doesn't lose. That sign says, would Gen.G lose? Like, come on. That's the new Gen.G sign. Until they lose, you just got to keep asking. Well, in my case, I'm pretty much not going to be asking. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they might go perfect.
Like I said, there is one match. It's the last one of the season. That's the one that's possibly up in the air. Otherwise, nope. Let's hear from the space on what they think about that particular topic themselves. Take it away, boys.
You wouldn't steal a Penta from me, would you, Piranha Clear? No, you wouldn't. No. Great cast on the day, guys, as it is a clean 2-0 from Gen.G. Probably one of the most dominant performances we've seen this split. Gold leads almost in double digits before 20 minutes. It was just great to see the best team in the world playing like the best team in the world.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw a performance that dominant was when Gen.G last played against a team that wasn't D+. That was also pretty dominant. So I feel like this is just business as usual from Gen.G. They are, I would say, very good at winning, I think is my conclusion.
Ox during this game, he's like, well, at least, Quantum Freaks didn't lose as bad as the first game. So it's an improvement, right?
Yeah.
It's good. And it's not as bad as when Bro played against Gen.G either. That was worse. So, yeah. I think it's pretty good for Quantum Freaks, I think.
We saw this time Gen.G took the Zeri Rakan, and we saw that, the Ezreal Leona is strong. Not strong enough to overcome the gap between these two teams, though. The early game was a little bit better. There were some moments. The Ziggs got a cool ult at one point, and then the good news stopped. The good news stopped.
It wasn't even Zeri Rakan, it was Jin Rakan, because the Zeri got put in mid. But at the time, it looked like Zeri Rakan. It kind of made sense in the draft. And then at the time, it was essentially like a blind Ziggs pick because they were like, oh, they're probably going to pick their mid laner. But then I think that Quantum Freaks should know, especially CV Max, that like, okay, Chovy will definitely, he will at some point pull this out in the mid lane if he wants to. And they ended up doing it here. I mean, the draft doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It was pretty good. Like, you can only ban so many things as Kwangdong Freaks, and Gen G are still going to absolutely maul you.
The one funny thing with Ziggs into Jin is when he ults, right, he's stationary, and you can just throw your ult on his head. It's very funny.
It's hilarious.
I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, Sausage Ox, Sausage, the Ziggs player here. Let's take a look at the highlights. So early scrapping started off okay, or at least getting kind of okay for the Kwangdong Freaks, but once we devolved, it was not great. It was not great.
Yeah, I mean, actually, there were some good skirmishes off the bat. I think playing Rakan and Leona Ezreal can be really dangerous, as they actually can just burst you down. But then as the game went on, Pace just decided that he wanted to murder everything that moved. And seemingly, Jin is good if you just hit your ult shots consistently and also do 1 million damage. Who would have known?
Yeah, I think it does help that Pace played it excellently, and, you know, he got some help from Canyon, he got some help from Lehens, and then eventually he just became this just wrecking ball machine. Even Chovy came down and ganked as Zeri and picked up the kill there. So by that point, we kind of knew the game was over. That was just highlight one. We're like, okay, well, they just absolutely destroyed them in the bottom lane over and over and over again and again.
What you even learn from this situation is Lipa there. Like, what is... Oh, the enemy Zeri mid roam down. Yeah, play safe
just
bot.
Play safer, come on.
There was a clip after this where like 4 people came down bot. There was, you know, we didn't want to show it because it was too brutal. But yeah, Lipa had a rough time. He got bullied a lot. And not just by Paze, but the collective of Gen G.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I take from this series beyond it, as we take a look at our final highlight, it was the Penta that was not meant to be, is that even in a win that they were super comfortable on, they still throw that little draft wrinkle of Chovy saying, hey, I can play this, so in the future for playoffs and beyond, they can have that in the back.
Chovy's just like, look, AD carry's broken, I want to get a pentakill, let me play Zeri and Draven and stuff. But unfortunately, Chovy didn't end up getting the pentakill, so I guess maybe he's just not good enough, you know? If Chovy was really that good, he would have got a penta here. That's all I'm saying.
After this, I think, honestly, he should shelve the Zeri mid. I think not quite good enough, and Paze had to help him out there at the end. That's why we voted for Paze in the POGs. Just a little bit of a spoiler. But no, seriously, I think that he, as long as the items are still crazy as they are on this patch, he will play literally anything in mid lane against anyone. So good luck drafting against that.
Let's see who gets that POG. Spoiler already here. What about there? It is Paze in the bot lane getting it. The boom damage, 8, 0, and 9.
Yeah, I'm sorry, no Penta, no POG, Chovy, unlucky on that one. Paze did insane damage in this game on the Jhin. I feel like really good use of the fourth shot in these early skirmishes just to execute people, get that burst of damage, but also consistently open up with these huge ults and just not being challenged on them and just essentially free hitting and doing 1 million damage. I mean, here, not the most damage in the world, but the setup was there in a lot of these plays. And this was the clip I didn't want to show where Lipa... I'm sorry, buddy.
Well,
just play safe, bro.
Why didn't he play safer?
I really like
this clip where he just utilized the walk strategy and evolved it into the run really fast strategy away from the Poppy that you think would be good into Jhin, but not when you're down 11,000 gold.
What I liked about this is when we had the listen in, it wasn't just Paze that like reacted and said, what happened? It was Lens too. It was the bot lane duo in sync against the troll top laner on that one as Keen took that one away. 700 POG points here for Paze as he's now tied at the top with Canyon.
He wasn't even on the POG, like the top scores, and he's jumped all the way to the top in this one series, so... VN Cast really... VN Cast, though, is just refusing. What has happened? Did you not speak to them?
VN Cast have, you know, they
heard us
themselves. They've listened to the feedback, and they said, you know what? I'm going to mix it up a little bit.
This is too far. Is that like a maximum amount of bot lane votes that they get a season, and they use them all up?
Because it was very mid. There was a bot laner in mid.
That's right, media as well. They haven't changed their vote in like 8 games. It's just always AD carry like every single game.
Got stuck.
It's just stuck. They forgot. Yeah.
All right, we are getting our interview ready here in a second, as Deer will be with that one. But again, what do you take away from this, Ox?
Well, I think as Quantum Freaks, you really have to not let this series get you down in the dumps. We've talked about the potential collapse of Quantum Freaks. Everyone loses to Gen G, right? Only D+ have made it look remotely competitive. This shouldn't shake your mental at all. You go in the series, like, we're probably going to lose this. You play your best, you lose it, you go, cool, let's look at our next series. So hopefully they don't take this one too heavily.
Oh, go ahead. There's our friends in the
Can we ask them? Ox, go ahead.
I mean, I'd love to ask them.
All right, yeah.
The
Ox,
voting
you can ask them after the interview, as Deer's standing by right now with the interview translations.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Deer for the POG interview translation, joined by Pace on the side of Gen G, who just defeated Kwangdong to secure their 12th consecutive victory. Congratulations! Pace, with today's victory, you secured a spot in the playoffs and qualified for Worlds. So how do you feel? I didn't know we would secure it so earlier on. And being able to get a clean victory and being able to qualify for both Worlds and playoffs makes me very happy. Yeah, so along with qualifying, you're on a 12 winning streak. So how does it feel to keep on winning? You know, I don't really care about the winning streak. I don't know. I don't really have any much thoughts on that. And with the solo POG, you have gotten 700 POG points and you are tied at the first place. And there hasn't been an 80 carry at the top of the POG standings until you made your mark. So what are your thoughts on this? You know, it feels great to be the only 80s carry on the top of the standings. So I hope that I can keep getting more POGs in the future. And in game 1, Chovy picked the very first LCK's mid Draven. So we noticed that he had a smile on his face. So what were you guys talking about? Honestly, being such an uncommon pick, I feel like that's probably why he was just smiling. I think we were just really waiting for everyone's reaction to it. To be honest, I don't really understand what the meaning behind his smile was, but I feel like I would have smiled because no one else has played it ever. And Pace, in game 1, there were so many kills at 13 minutes, and by 20 minutes, you had a 12k gold difference, creating such a one-sided game. So what are your thoughts on this big snowball? So I think we were playing Ezreal and Zyra. You know, as long as we're just scaling normally, I think it's just really hard to deal with it from the enemy's perspective. So that's probably why it ended up snowballing so hard. So we got a highlight ready. Not even 5 minutes into the game, you leaped across the wall for this kill. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I think we just had a really good setup. I think at this point, because of my items, I was just so much stronger than the enemy Eddie carry. So I think we're just talking about the matchup and just like the whole situation about how I was probably the situation. I was just in a more favorable position. So Gen G actually brought out new picks in both games today. In game 2, we had Chovy's mid Zeri and your Jhin to top it off. So was there any preparation before? I think there are other leagues that play mid Zeri, and I think we've always thought that mid Zeri is really good, and given how good Chovy is at mid Zeri, I think we might